World Doll Day, friends. This is Michael Canadas with the Carmel Doll Shop and Grovian Doll Museum. We are in a room in the Nunez home that is affectionately known as the ice cream room. Even though there is no ice cream in here, but once upon a time it housed a whole set for an ice cream parlor and was turned into this magnificent room of dreams, beautiful tableaus. And today I'm going to show you a tableau that I think is fascinating as a study group. And it really has two giants of the doll world together, and yet they're enemies. In the world of dolls, they are the Joan Crawford and the Betty Davis, linked forever in their conflict. Some people love Joan, some people love Betty. The same thing with these two makers that we're going to show you. Here we have a beautifully curated Napoleon III salon with, actually it's three companies, but the two major people in this cabinet are Marie Antoinette Leontine Rohmer and the Huret sisters. So I'm going to start with the Rohmer first. And the reason that we know that the two women were the Joan and Betty of their time is because of this doll that's sitting in this chair. Now you'd think she looks very innocent, but she was once a part of a raid and a lawsuit. And it has to do with this body, which is a zinc body. And if I move it, you can hear it sounds like a tin can. I'm not hurting it. It is virtually indestructible, but it is zinc, and then it is painted to look very much like a gutta percha body, which is the domain of this company, which is the Huret company. And Madame Huret was so outraged that she took it to court. And what we learn from the court case, which is fascinating, is the police in France had because of this, it was considered a crime, could go into the Rohmer home, which was also their workshop, and confiscate any items that fit into the patent. So at the time of the seizure, I guess we should call it, there were literally a handful of these dolls available. But they still went to court, and the Huret company won, which I feel is slightly unfair because having examined both of the bodies, there are similarities, but they're not. The similarity is that they are about the same size and they are the human form. So my takeaway from that is this doll is actually really one of the rarest of her type. And you don't always notice it because when they're fully dressed, you don't see anything special about the body. But you would never know from that innocent face and this innocent face that there was ever a conflict. So now I'm going to just look at the dolls. So I think we've shown before in the Nunez collection some of her other Hurets, but these are really worth having a look at. So here we have a painted eye, bisque, swivel neck with really a fabulous face and an exceptional silk soutache dress, which you don't see those every day. And here's another one with a wonderful jumper and an extraordinary blouse. And I really do want you to see the cufflinks that are at the cuffs. Those are the real thing. And I don't want you to miss out on the little bird brooch at the neck, too. That's something to see. And I would say that that's probably an ornament from Maison Barreau, who was one of the suppliers to the Huret company. And you don't really get to see this back in here, but these are some fabulous Huret Mary Janes. Maybe we can pull it out a little bit. Well, no, we can't. It's pretty well stuck down. But this dress actually, both of them should be poofed out quite a bit more than they are now. But because of the limited space in this fabulous salon, they have to push them in. And then this little visitor from Germany is adorable, and I can pick her up so you can see her. A little wood articulation with a twill cover. And these make wonderful little sisters to the Hurets and the Rohmers. And she's in a little white outdoor dress. It looks slightly peignoir-like, but it is actually an outdoor day dress. Before we go over and look at the other girls, I want you to take a look at Susan's business was basically the fashion business and dealing with color and print and how they work together. And I think if you look at the wall covering, it's a beautiful 18th century damask, but probably taken off of an actual piece of fabric and then printed. Beautiful oversized scale. Remember, in the 19th century, wallpapers would be oversized. And then one of the best ebonized sets of furniture I've ever seen, and complete with plant holders, settee, center table with the original porcelains still in place. Just really great. And then I want to show you this, which is really beautiful. Now, most of the doll furniture in the Nunez collection, I would say, is not really, in quotations, doll furniture. It's mostly very fine miniatures made by, incredible craftsmen. But this is actually doll furniture, and it's some of the best you'll ever see. So we've had a look at her, and in my experience with having these zinc-bodied, which I think we've had 3 in our career, so far they've always had glass eyes. So it doesn't mean that they couldn't have painted eyes, but so far they've only had glass eyes. And for you designers of costumes out there doing your own thing, look at the application of this trim and the lace. It's really very, very clever. Now let's look at the guest in the room that's not controversial. She's not part of any lawsuit, and she's, let's just say right now, she's Switzerland in this room. And this is a very small doll for this baker by George Most. And what they're known for are their teeth. So if you look at the mouth, it's got an open-closed mouth with the teeth showing. So basically there's no opening. That's what that means, open-closed. It's closed, but they create a space that they could have a tongue tip and the teeth. And it's a very, very interesting mold, a very complex mold to make that very small doll. And then this girl, I do think that this costuming is très chic. And this is a classic Rohmer with a leather body, glass-eyed, but very, very stylish costume. A beautiful lavender and black, check and solid, with blue eyes that the lavender, I think it almost picks up a violet tone to it. And this is a very, very pleasing doll. It's got zinc components under the skin, but it's still here. This feels like a person. And another thing I want to point out to collectors out there that are starting out and trying to learn, here's some misinformation that is shared a lot. Rohmer dolls, there is no rhyme or reason to the combinations of parts. So this doll has absolute Rohmer hands, but they're china, but the head is bisque. You will constantly see a mix. they did not seem to mind putting china heads on a bisque body. And one of my reasons of thinking they didn't mind china for the arms is when you're dressing and undressing a doll, the china just slides through where the bisque kind of sticks. The granular part of it makes it stick. So this is something that is absolutely regularly found all the time on Rohmer dolls, where these other dolls you usually have the parts, this one and if the Huret had bisque parts, they would match. But for the Rohmer company, this is something very unique. And then costuming, there's so much more of a variety of styles of costuming for the Rohmer dolls, where the Hurets are a little more predictable and you can figure it out. And then I shouldn't forget the little touch of chinoiserie in the corner. It's a lovely little drop front desk. But I think this whole display is really beautiful. And I should say that, you know, when you are at the Nunez collection, you think, wow, this, you just snap your fingers and it all happened. This took time to get this, and it took time to get everything so that it's at where it is now. And I would imagine that Susan's not done yet. I'm sure she's got more things that she could add to this to create this little dream world. And then I also should point out to look at these, I believe that these are enamels. So that's all fired on beautiful mythological scenes. And everything is symmetrical, which makes both David and I really happy, because if we could decorate, that's what we like to do. So anyways, yes, their fight was long ago. I'm not taking sides. I admire and respect both of the ladies, and I think that I think both of the ladies would be highly complimented that we're still talking about them, 140 years later. Anyways, doll friends, I hope you enjoyed this little peek into the Nunez collection, and we will be back later. Bye-bye.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.